Welcome back for another Pilates reformer workout. Today the workout is going to be focused on using the maple pole or whatever kind of pole or dowel you have with your machine. If you don't have a dowel or a pole, you can grab a broomstick or anything you might have at home, but this class will require a pole or a dowel. So we are going to start with the box on short box or across like this, making sure that it is even so that you're not tipping off. We are going to place all the springs on, or most of the springs on, just for support for the warm-up, and then we'll start to take some springs on after that. I would recommend bringing in your carriage all the way to the stopper because you don't want to be too far out at this point. You're going to find your safety strap and place your ankles snug underneath. If you need to adjust that, feel free, but you do want it to be holding you quite tightly. And then to start, you're just going to grab that pole, again, even on both sides here, and you're just going to bring it up over your head. You're going to pull like you're pulling that pole apart to feel those arms working. And we're just going to start by rotating side to side to warm up the spine. So your hips are heavy, your glutes are heavy. And we're just engaging in some spinal rotation. You're engaging those arms as you pretend to pull that pole apart. You're going to start to get your breath going. Again, you're rotating only as far as you can keep both hips down. If at any point this feels uncomfortable for your shoulders, if you have a shoulder injury, you are welcome to just keep the bar at the chest, or you could ditch the pole or bar at this point. Good, one more each side. And then back through center, we're gonna come into a side bend. So again, opposite hip is gonna stay grounded. You're reaching up and over with that pole, and then back through center. Up and over with that pole, elbows stay slightly straight. And you might notice your range of motion isn't super far, and that's okay because you don't want that hip lifting. You want to stay grounded. Good. We're going to do one more per side. And then bring the pole down. From here, we're going to keep the pole into our bodies. Again, feet are underneath that strap. You're going to tip back and then back up here. So just coming into a flat back, warming up the core. Making sure your hips are even. You're in the middle of your box. And remember to trust that strap. So again, if you need to adjust it, you can. This is a little bit snug for me, but it'll do because I know that I'm not going anywhere. Good, two more like this. And on the next one, I want you to lean back. Can you reach that pole up? Bring it back in and sit tall and then repeat. Keep pulling those ribs in, keep the chest wide. We're wasting no time here. We are working that core. Hopefully starting to feel the burn. Keep that chin tucked so we don't start to crank through the neck. Keep your breath fluid. We're going to go for 3. For 2. On this last one, you hold back. Can you give me 10 reaches? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. It burns. 4, 3, 2, 1. And reach that bar all the way to your feet for a nice stretch. Beautiful. From here, you are just going to keep, for me, my right foot under the strap, and I'm gonna bring it forward. I'm gonna face you, and my left leg is going to bend, and I'm gonna roll right onto the hip. So I'm not leaning back like so. We wanna stay nice and stacked like this. If your hip doesn't allow for this kind of movement, you could just dangle your leg off like so. We are gonna take the pole with us, and we're just gonna hold the pole, and we're coming into our mermaid here. If you at any time need to ditch the pole here and use your hand for support, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, you're gonna trust in that strap, make sure it's snug and tight. I'm bringing my foot and my toes over to really secure myself here. And then I'm gonna float into space using those obliques, using the core, and I'm just coming into a side bend to start. Now, you can hold here and keep the bar close by, but as you can probably guess, we're gonna add a reach out and then up. Now you can hold it here the whole time, or if you need to bring it in and hold with it in, or you wanna pull it out and up, that's fine too. So choosing whatever feels good for your body, but still a challenge. We've got 4 more. 3. Last 2. You're gonna feel that burn, the obliques. Good, last one. And then sit up nice and tall. Here you can take your left hand to the headrest and you can just reach that right arm for me up and over and just come into a nice side stretch, a supported side stretch. And then press up and come back to sitting. From here, we're gonna stay facing this way. You're gonna go to 1 blue spring, and we are gonna do some standing work. So I always recommend stepping off your reformer first. Whenever you're gonna come into standing, we're gonna keep the box here. I'm just gonna transition by standing up and placing 1 foot on the platform. If you need your extender, feel free to grab that extender. And then from here, you're gonna reach that bar up. Again, you're acting like you're pulling that bar away, and you're gonna come into a slide. And as you pull that carriage in, you're gonna bend the elbows, bar comes behind the head. Good, you're gonna push the bar up as you slide away. You're gonna pull the bar up into the chest in front of your face. And you're just gonna alternate. So when you come in, bar goes behind, and then the next time it goes in front. I'm gonna give you a few options here. If you don't like the blue spring, if it just feels like not a lot is happening, if you wanna work inner thighs, you can go lighter on your springs. If you wanna feel more glutes today, you can always add more springs. So you can go to a red and a white, a red and a blue. But that's the beauty of the reformers. You can kind of choose where you wanna take things today. If you're not into feeling inner thighs, then you don't have to. Blue will flow nicely into some of the next exercises we have. So just be mindful of adjusting your springs if something feels too light or too heavy as we progress. Awesome job. Shoulders are getting some movement in. This will challenge that mobility component. I'm feeling that slight burn here. Good, 1 more. We're gonna have that bar land in front. We are gonna squat with that bar in front, and we're just gonna press that left leg out. Bring it in, stand tall, press the bar up. We bring the bar down, we squat, press the leg, bring it in, stand tall and press. Getting as low as you can in that squat. Good. The next time you go down, you're gonna hold. You're gonna press that leg out. You're gonna rotate the pole to the opposite direction of the leg. So for me, it's the right. I'm gonna stay down, bring it back to center. We rotate. Good. We rotate. That right leg is burning. Again, if you have too many springs on, you can remove springs. Or if you need more support, you can add. I'm gonna give you the option. You could stay here, or when you rotate, you can punch that pole out. And then bring it in. We're gonna go for 5 more. Punching it out will challenge the arms, but also hold you here for a little bit longer. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Good, and bring it in. Stand on up. I am feeling that in that right leg. Okay, from here, we are going to sit back on the box. We're gonna get that other side done and over with. So just be careful as you're transitioning back to your bum. We are adding all those springs back on, or most of the springs, whatever it'll take to keep the carriage stable. We are gonna go into our mermaid exercise and then back into that side series on the other side. So I will be facing away from you, my apologies. So my left foot is in that strap and it's coming forward and I'm kind of bringing my big toe over that strap. I'm on my right hip and I'm stacked nice and tall here, as long as I can be through the waist. And then I've got the pole close to my body. Again, you've got a lot of options here if you would like to challenge yourself and keep it away from the body. We're gonna trust that strap. We're coming into just free space here and we're just gonna arc over and then back up. So option 1 is keeping that pole close. We'll aim for about 10. You can also press out and come up or keep it out. So do whatever feels good. You can do a mix if you're kind of not sure where you are and you want to try a mix of all of the above. Good, we got 4 or 5 more depending on where you're at. Good, give me 2 to 3 good ones. Awesome, let's do 1 more for good luck. Beautiful, take that pole to the left hand, right hand reaches to the bar, or sorry, the shoulder rest, and we'll come into a nice supported side stretch, and then pressing yourself up nice and tall. We're going back to that blue spring, or whatever spring you did that first time. I was on a blue. And again, always step off. I am gonna transition right from here because I feel comfortable doing that, but always step off for safety purposes. And then we're gonna start with our slides. Again, when the carriage comes in, we start behind, and then we switch into in front. So working through some nice shoulder range of motion, trying to keep your feet, your toes, your heels heavy, lifting those arches, using those inner thighs if you're on that blue spring. If you're on a heavier spring, you're pushing out using those glutes. Keeping your breath fluid, recycling that stale air. For just having a pole in my hand, my shoulders are feeling the burn, and hopefully yours are too. Good, this next time you press out, you bring it in, the bar comes in front into your chest, we squat, we press that right leg out, we bring it in, we stand tall and overhead press. Getting as low as you can with that squat, always good form over reps. So take it nice and slow, there's no rush. Hopefully this bar will encourage you to stay open through the chest. Good, in 2 more, we're gonna add that rotation. Good, after this next one, good, hold it down. You're gonna rotate left, press right. Now again, you're welcome to stay here. We'll do 10 to 12. Or if you're up for it, you can add the reach of the pole. Good, we go for 5. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Good, and bring it in. My leg is burning. From here, we are gonna step off. We're gonna take the box off. I'm just gonna rest my pole on the rails there, and I'm just gonna bring my box over here. From here, we're gonna get into a little bit more oblique rotation. We're gonna work those hamstrings and glutes. So I'm gonna stay on a blue spring. Again, if anything feels too easy, you just add more spring, or we can adjust position from kneeling to tall kneeling. So we are gonna come into a torso twister. For this setup, because the strap might move a bit, I always do a hand above and a hand below, and then coming into that rotation, I do typically like to come into a tall kneeling, tailbone tucked. Again, that strap is gonna move, so I secure it with one hand above and one hand below, trying to keep those hips facing forward. Good. Keeping your gaze on that pole, initiating through the torso, the abdomen, arms are just coming along for the ride. You will still feel that burn. Good, last two. Last one, come back to center. From here, you're gonna do a circle, 5, one direction, like you're stirring a big pot of soup. 3, 4, 5, and then we reverse. Try to keep that body facing forward. Last 3, 2, 1. And then you are gonna keep the strap around that pole. You're gonna step off the reformer. Strap in the middle of that pole as best you can. Again, for this one, you could probably go a little bit heavier. I'm gonna stay on a blue and increase my tension by taking steps back. Hand on each side, trying to keep it as even as possible. We're gonna come into a hinge or like a deadlift motion. Shoulders pulled back in socket, slight bend in the knees. We let that strap pull us forward. We use those glutes and hamstrings to help straighten us up. Squeeze, good. We let the strap pull us. It's like you're reaching your bum behind you, and then stand tall. Again, you add more springs. Do you want to go heavy here? Now is a good time. Keep those shoulders plugged into the sockets. Don't let them trail away from you. As always, we are gonna add on. The next time you reach that pole forward, hips come back, you're gonna pause, you're gonna come into a squat, you're gonna row. Good, you're gonna reach your body forward again, come into that hinge. We hinge, we set the hips back into a squat, we row. Butt reaches back, we stand tall. So we're combining a hinge into a squat and a row. And we really got to break this down, so we don't want to rush through it. Get as low as you can into that squat. Good, we've got about 3 more. Good, last 2. Last one here. Beautiful drop. We're just gonna carefully release that carriage. From here, we are gonna continue facing the back. To transition to the other side, we're gonna do a little bit of work facing the back here. We are gonna take both straps to the pole, and then headrest flat, legs crisscross, one on top of the other. And remember, at any point you can switch which leg goes on top, because I will probably forget to tell you. So straps in the middle, fairly even here. I'm still on a blue spring. Again, you can add more springs whenever you feel. We're just gonna start with a nice roll back. As we progress this into some arm work, I find a blue is enough. But if you have mighty strong arms, you feel free to add whatever you need to. So we're gonna roll back using the abdominals and then curling right back up. Now, if a flat back feels better for you, you're welcome to do so. We're just warming up here as we progress through some more arm work. You only go as far as you can control this. Make sure to have at least a hand width behind you, otherwise you will fall back. And it's happened before. Good, the next time you go back, you're gonna pause, you're gonna add a row, a higher row, and then sit up tall. We tip back, we pause, we add a high row, and we sit up tall. Repeat. Again, I'm happy if you do a roll back or a flat back, whatever feels better for you and your back. Trying to stay as heavy through those legs as possible. If you feel like you need to switch which leg is on top, feel free to do so. Beautiful. We are going to begin to progress this. You're gonna tip back about halfway. You're gonna pull. You're gonna look at that pole, look up at the ceiling, reach up, sit tall. We pull, row. Becomes a more fluid motion here. Give me 6 to 8 if you can. Try and keep control. This is 4 for me. We pull, we row, we reach. 5, I'm gonna go for 3 more. And my legs are lifting, try and keep them heavy. Last 2. And if that happens, just don't go as far. Last one. Whew. Lovely, and you sit up tall. We're gonna ditch that right strap because we've already done that side. We are now going into our torso twister, our stirring a pot, and then our hinge and squat movements. And then I think we're gonna go into a little bit more arm and shoulder work, except facing the front this time. So again, I'm still on that blue spring. I'm kneeling up tall. We are gonna try and do 10 rotations and then 5 in each direction for circles. Again, I am the worst counter, I will do my best. But I want you to go at a pace that feels good for you, and it might not match the same as mine. Tailbone is tucked, shoulders down and away from the ears. Again, I've got one hand above the strap, one hand below. Quality over quantity. Might not mean you're rotating as far. Try and keep those hips facing forward. This is 5 for me, I believe. 6. 7. We've got 3 more. 8. 9. And 10. I come back to center. I stir that pot for 5 in one direction. 4. 3. 2. 1. And then I reverse. 2, 3, 4, and last one. Lovely. Now we're just gonna release that tension. We're gonna step off the carriage. Strap is in the middle as best we can. We're gonna walk back for more tension as much as you need, or you add more springs. We're gonna come into that hinge first. So feet, toes are all heavy. That strap and rope, pull our body forward, chest stays up, butt reaches back. We use those legs to stand tall, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings. We reach. Feeling a nice stretch. Perfect. Nicely done. I hope this one makes you feel strong. It always makes me feel strong. We always love to work into functional movements, such as hinges, such as squats. Good, after this next one, we're gonna add that squat in. Good, we've reached the body forward, but now dip slow, we add a row, and then come back into that hinge. We're gonna do 10 total if you can. This is 4. We're almost halfway there. Again, try not to rush through it. Break it down. Hinge, squat, row, hinge, up. Good. I believe this is 8 for me. Last 2. Last one. Whew. Slowly walk towards the back. You aren't going to totally release that strap yet. You're going to get your straps hooked on to your hooks if you have them, or placed on your rails, because we are going to face forward for this next series. And we'll be kneeling. If kneeling is not accessible to you or doesn't feel good for you, you could always change your position to sitting. That's totally fine. If you need the box at any point to sit on, that's fine too. And I'm still on a blue spring. It's always fun when I can do a class pretty much just on one spring. And then I am taking the pole and I'm putting the straps on each end, and it's just sitting on my hips right now. So from here, I've got the straps on the pole. I'm going to take my hands under, so an under the strap kind of grip, and they're going to push them out of the way. And we're going to reach the pole overhead from here. And again, you can come from a low kneeling position, or if you want to get into tall kneeling, just be careful because this is a really great position to fall in. You're going to bring those arms back and then bring them up. So that pole is coming behind your head. Your gaze is staying forward, your core is engaged, you're not going too fast, because again, you will face plant. And if you're on Instagram and TikTok too, you've seen those videos, and I don't want that to be you today. Beautiful. Find your focus. You can come into more of a hinge if that feels good for you. Hopefully feeling the back burning. If you have a ponytail like me, you're trying to avoid it. It gets annoying, but should be plenty of room. Good, you're gonna go for 3. You can do it. For 2. For 1, you're gonna press the bar up. You're gonna change your grip to a really narrow grip. If you need to adjust the straps, that's okay. So my hands are pretty much touching. For this one, I'm gonna come down just so I can control this. I'm gonna bring my hands above the head, and I'm just bending at the elbow. We're coming into triceps. I'm gonna hope these straps don't fall off. We're gonna try for 10. And it's gonna burn. 8, 7, 6. It burns so good, right? 5. Last 4, you got this, you're strong. Good, last 3. Last 2. Last one, make it a good one, big squeeze. And then we can bring that pole all the way down. So just to transition, we are gonna take the straps away from the pole, but we're gonna continue to use them. So don't let them go too far. We are gonna be laying down. I would say again, if you have the hooks, hook them there or place them on the rails. We're gonna go to 1 red and 1 blue. So I'm just adding a red. I am pulling my bar all the way up, and then I'm laying on my back. I would like to do some bridging first. I always recommend bringing your headrest down for bridging so it doesn't hurt your neck. I have mine up, but that's because it typically feels okay, because my neck tends to extend a little bit more when I'm laying on my back anyways. From here, of course, we're gonna take that pole with us. We pretty much have had this the whole time. You're gonna take your heels to the bar. Pole again is just reaching up. You're going to press your heels, reach your hips up into that bridge. See if you can pretend to pull that pole apart to activate those arms, and then come back down. So this is where, if you're someone who's a bit taller, you might need to adjust the stopper because we want to keep the carriage as close as we can, and we're on only a heavy and a light spring, so it's going to be harder to do. So take it nice and slow. Good. Maybe as you come down, the bar comes down to your chest, almost like you're doing a chest press. You reach it up and come back down, feeling the glutes and the hammies. Try my best not to move this carriage. Adjusting your feet as you need to. Good. The next time you go up, you're going to hold that pole up. You're going to press the carriage away and bring it back, and we go for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull it in and bring it down. Oh my God, that really hurt. So we are going to hopefully find the straps that we put behind us. We are going to take that pole, and yes, we are putting it back through the straps. We're going to get into a little arm and core work and maybe some feet and straps as well. Again, for this, headrest can be wherever. Hands are going to be outside of the straps to make sure that they stay secure. Legs are going to come in tabletop. And from here, we're just going to add tension to the straps with the pole. And all you're going to do is bring the pole down to your chest and push it back up. From here, we're in that tabletop position. But you're going to feel lots of work through your core and your arms for this. Breathe through it. Don't let go of that tension. That's the tough part. Good. And 2 more. We hold those arms up. Good. After this last one, we reach the pole up. We begin to nod the chin. We ab curl. We reach the legs, reach the pole, and back in. We repeat. Keep it going. Can you give me 4 more? Yes, you can. 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. You're gonna hold here. Good. Bring the knees in and out to the bar for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring your feet down to that bar. We are going to finish up with feet on the pole, our version of feet and straps with the pole. Again, for this, you're going to want to have the straps on the outside actually, and your feet will be on the inside. And we want to make this as even as possible. So my arches are on the pole, as even as they can possibly be. And we're just going to start with a nice knee bend. Good. Stopping the knees over the hips. Big push out. You could probably go heavier for this. I'm still on a blue and a red. But resistance-wise, it doesn't feel too challenging, which means maybe we'll go into some single leg work. So just warming up the hips here, kind of getting used to that bar. It's going to feel a little wobbly, of course, compared to the straps that are typically just around the feet. Good, hold the legs up. We'll come into arcs just to see how that feels. Same principles here. We don't want the hips or the bum lifting. We want the neutral spine staying neutral. We don't want the back arching. And if you need to add a micro bend in your knees, please do that as well, because we don't want to feel strain behind the knees. We just want to feel work in the back of the leg. Beautiful. Bring the legs down a little bit more than halfway. You're going to shimmy your right foot into the middle of the bar. Left leg is going to come to tabletop. We're going to reach the left leg long, bend the right leg in. We're going to press and switch. Good. So coming into some single leg work here. Trying to keep things controlled with the right. Give me 2 more. Right leg is starting to burn. Good, 1 more. Good, you're going to reach the left leg up and you're going to begin to arc the right leg up, reach the left leg under, bend the left leg, reach it up. So you're kind of bringing that left leg underneath as the right leg goes up, and then you're reaching it up towards the ceiling. We're just going to do about 5 or so, because this one does burn, and we don't want that foot slipping off. Good. Last one. And then left leg comes to meet the bar. Left foot comes in the middle. Now we just start with our single leg press. And then we'll add in reaching that right leg in the opposite direction. Trying to find stability and control. I recommend, if you don't have a non-slip sock on or bare feet, that you do that with this one, because I already have felt my foot slipping quite a bit. So you don't want that pole slipping and knocking you in the face. So just make sure you have a good grip on your foot. And if you don't, instead of using the pole, use the strap. Can definitely still do this exercise, and we don't need the pole if it just feels icky for you. Good, and 2 more. We'll do 4 to 5 of those extensions or those leg arcs. Good, reach the left leg long. We arc it to the ceiling. Right leg goes under, and then it reaches up to the ceiling, reaches under the bar. And we're doing single leg arc with the left leg. Trying to keep the left leg as straight as possible. We got about 2 more. Beautiful. And then we bring that right leg to meet your left one. And to finish off all this work, we are going to come into a short spine. So I am going to lower my headrest for that, hands by your side. If you don't feel comfortable doing short spine with the pole, you can do it with the straps. And if you have back issues or neck issues, I don't recommend doing short spine. So you can begin your stretch with the straps or without the straps. Or you can just go back into leg arcs and leg presses with the pole. So for short spine, we're going to begin to arc the feet and the pole up to the ceiling. You're going to start to scoop in through abdominals, pressing through the backs of the hands. Bum begins to lift, pole and feet begin to come over your head and shoulders. Keep gripping that pole, knees bend towards your face. You use the abdominals and the feet and legs to pull the straps down. Once tailbone is heavy, you're going to press the legs out. So we're maybe not going as far because the pole does feel like it wants to fall off my feet if I go too far. So we're just really controlling the short spine here. because we have a slippery pull on our feet. Again, making sure you're not pulling with the low back. Using abdominals, using your legs. We're gonna do a couple more here. Again, don't go too far because that pull will wanna slide away from your feet. Good, last one. And then you're gonna bend those knees in, grab onto the pole with your hands and just let the straps go behind you. Place that strap on the floor and then you're gonna come on up. We are gonna just finish off with a little stretch. We're gonna start with our mermaid stretch here. I'm gonna go to 1 red spring. If you wanna go lighter, you may go lighter. So I'm gonna face you first, my back leg against those shoulder rests, my right hand in the middle of that foot bar. I'm gonna press and reach that left arm up and over, keeping my left hip grounded, really reaching through fingertips and then stacking up nice and tall. Good, we're gonna do 4 more like this. Last 2. Last one, big stretch, big reach. And then stacking up tall. Before we do the other side, we're coming into elephant, my favorite exercise. You're gonna stand right on that carriage, heels all the way back to the shoulder rests, sending your hips and body back, ears line up with armpits. We just press with the backs of the legs. You could go heavier for this one if that feels good. Again, just moving from the lower half of the body, not pushing with the shoulders at all. You can play around with toe out or feet parallel. Really enjoying that hamstring stretch as your feet come in though. Good, just a couple more. Beautiful, and then you're gonna gently lower to your knees, take off whatever spring you don't need anymore. I'm taking off my blue and I'm going back to my red. My right shin is now against the shoulder rest. My left hands are on that foot bar and I'm reaching up and over with my right arm. Keeping my right hip as grounded as possible. We do 5 total. Good, last couple here. Really reach. Last one. And then you stack up nice and tall. And then we're gonna come back in front. Thank you so much for joining me for another reformer workout. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I will see you again next week.